From the campus of Vladovic Harbor Teacher Prep Academy, it's Morning Prep, the only way to start your school day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Prep. I'm David.
And I'm Anita. This is our first episode and I'm so excited. We only have 15 minutes, so here's what's coming up.
But first, the plug. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Leave us a comment because we want to hear from you.
We also want to report the stories that you want to hear.
Speaking of which, we've got some interesting news about the week's Valentine's Day.
Really?
Yes, and you will be surprised at what Sedona and her team found out.
We also got information about the upcoming event updates.
And finally, we're going to talk about the 2019 teacher strike. We have one of the teachers with us who took part in the strike, and we want to hear from what she has to say.
Here are some general updates. Formal is going to be on February 27 at 7 p.m. in the multi-purpose room here on campus. The theme will be garden. For seniors, don't forget to fill out your permission slip and turn it in with the $130 fee for grad night at Disney's California Adventure on Wednesday, June 12th. Tickets will be on sale on Friday, March 8th from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. in Ms. Cooper's room. Also, prom is around the corner on May 17th.
Feast of St. Valentine's, also known as Valentine's Day, lurks behind the mystery of ancient Roman traditions, but has modernly pronounced itself as the holiday reserved for the Day of Love. Simply put, mid-February has marked the start of spring for the Romans, but perhaps it's now marking the aura of romance that has caused the prices of flowers and candies to spike ludicrously.
Valentine's Day is a day of giving, loving, friendshiping, eating, and I think it's sad for those who don't have a significant other. Me, but you know what? It's great for those who found their love.
Basically what she said, it emphasizes the loneliness, it just makes you feel even more lonely when everybody else is together.
I feel like everyone in a relationship feels like it's mandatory to buy their significant other gifts and stuff, and it just doesn't seem genuine.
Tens of thousands of teachers in the Los Angeles Unified School District began Monday with picketing and a protest to march for better school funding and higher teacher pay. Since 1989, 30 years later, LAUSD had another teacher strike in efforts to improve the conditions of the district. The strike lasted from January 14th to January 23rd of this year. HCPA students were among the many affected by the teacher strike. We interviewed students on campus to find out what their thoughts and opinions were concerning the current conditions.
What are your feelings in terms of the strike? Any negative or positives?
My feelings are pretty positive because I like to see democracy working towards our educational system.
I really don't know how to feel. I wanted to come to see how it was like, and obviously I see the teachers on the corner, they're just standing there striking for the issues, and I feel like I should be there with them.
If the teachers get what they want, it'll be better. We'll have a better learning experience, a better learning environment, and just overall.
For the interview, we have Dr. Serna, who was one of the teachers that took part in 2019's teacher strike.
So Dr. Serna, coming back from the strike, what are your feelings in terms of it so far? Are they positive, negative?
I mean, certainly they're positive on some extent. I'm glad that we got some of the issues that we were dealing with, that we were fighting for. Okay, on a bigger scale, I'm not sure. This is my first experience with the strike. I'm not sure if basically how things are going to turn out.
So in terms of the organization of the strike, how was that process? How was the communication?
Okay. I have to say that I was really proud of the union. Okay, like I have mentioned to you guys before, Mr. Groban is a union rep. He's the one who used to attend all the meetings. He's the one who will communicate with us through text messaging. But I'm also get the messages from the union, but I think that the union in and of itself, the organization, they did a really good job on organizing all of us, making sure that everybody participated and then sharing information every single day and giving us updates on how things were going and whatnot.
Has the student work ethic changed in any way?
As a result of the strike, no. I think that we have really good students here at the school. I'm really proud of you guys. Okay, I think that you do get your job done. But no, it hasn't changed, I don't think so. Not in our school. I'm not sure how it'll be at other places, but our school, no.
So you haven't noticed any differences in the time lost? Have they been working a little harder to catch up because of it?
No, to be honest, no, I don't know. I mean, I think I go on my own pace, with my students. I push them. They know when things are done. I know that, we lost a week of classes, and we have said that we wouldn't punish you for that. We were not getting paid, we were not working. I'm not sure how it is in other classes with other teachers, okay? And I haven't asked my students about it, but I think that for those of us who teach AP classes, our main concern is that we need to get you ready for that test.
Yeah. So like, how has the workload changed? Because I know like since the strike had happened, you have to like catch up. You have to catch your students up. So how has the workload on you personally? Has it like increased? Has it decreased?
No, it's about the same. It's always the same. I do. I mean, I collect a lot of materials. It's funny because I was talking to Groven yesterday morning, and he said, "Oh, finally I finished. I'm caught up grading," and I said, "Well, I did a lot of grading also over the weekend, and then." On Tuesday, I went home with a pile of papers to grade.
So you've told us about all the good things that have come out of the strike, all your concerns have been addressed. Is there any shortcomings from the strike that you wish had been addressed?
You know, even though we won on some ground, I'm not sure to what extent things are gonna happen. Okay, I know that we're supposed to get a raise. I'm not sure. They did tell us that it's going to happen sometime in May. But I think that the biggest concern for some of us will be the increase of nurses and the counselors and decreasing the class sizes in some classes. And I'm not sure if the district will be able to do that or will do it within the next 2 years or so. Okay, because one thing is when they make promises, when they say, okay, it's in the contract. But another thing is when they're going through preparing for the next 2 years and is it really going to happen? Will they actually do it? So we'll see.
As you guys were outside picketing, off school property, did all the teachers contribute? Like, because I didn't see like all staff members like at the same. Like, did some people stay over there, or did some people go to like downtown LA to actually do like the whole protest?
No, I think that we all participated. We will meet here in the mornings. I mean, some people certainly because they have children, they come a little bit later. But we understood, it's kind of like our regular work schedule. And then from here, we would have things to do. We will go to downtown. We could carpool a lot of times. Yeah, in some cases, some teachers had other compromises, other things that they had to do. So I was telling my husband, for instance, something that you guys don't notice, but for instance, I said, every week there's something that we're doing, whether it is a doctor's appointment, an appointment with the teacher for your children and whatnot, and all of these things were still happening during the strike, so and sometimes some teachers wouldn't come. They say, okay, I'm going to be here only in the morning because I have a doctor's appointment, I have an appointment with the counselor for my kid, things like that. But I think overall everybody participated.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Steiner. Your insight was really helpful.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Remember to share this and leave your comments. With us today, we have Mr. Groven, the coordinator of the LAUSD strike for Harbor Teacher Preparation Academy. Mr. Groven, how are you today?
Good.
Thanks for coming today. So first thing we want to ask you, how has the work ethic of the students been changed so far post-strike?
I think the first day or two, it took the students a little bit to get back into it, but our students are very resilient, and they're very quickly got into back into the swing of things.
So in terms of the time lost during the strike, how do you think the students here at HTPA are going to recover in time for AP tests?
I think they're going to do fine, particularly at our school. Our students are very motivated, and I think they'll be able to manage.
So what has been your overall experience during the strike, in terms of being real productive?
My overall experience, I think, would be very empowering. It was my first time going through a strike and a labor action, and I was just very impressed how well organized the union was. When the union had threatened about 3 years ago to go on strike, we were not ready. This time, we were very ready.
So when it comes to the whole coordination of the strike, how was the whole process in general?
It was months in the planning, always hoping that we wouldn't have to be able to strike, but throughout the process, we had created a hierarchy structure for news to trickle down, to be texted down, and our staff did great. They didn't listen to a lot of the rumors going on and waited for information to come straight from me.
So, in terms of like your students in all your classes, what academic prowess have they exhibited from like during and after the strike?
I think for something is actually witnessing and experiencing a strike. We've talked about labor and about union and fighting for better wages and better working conditions, but actually seeing it in action and seeing it in real, and the question, do I cross the line or do I not? Who do I listen to between these two sides that are arguing? And students were put in the middle of that. And so it was a real life experience.
So lastly, in a teacher standpoint, how has the strike benefited you? Has it reached all your expectations from what you fought for during the strike?
It went beyond what we thought our expectations, and it was simply because we were so united. It's where an injury was an injury for all, and that was exhibited throughout the strike. And to see the parents and students come out to support us and go all the way downtown. When we had 60,000 chanting outside City Hall and they were negotiating inside, that was very empowering and impactful. It was also allowed us to get more than we could imagine, and that was amazing to us.